Jackster here at my beautiful wife's art show called The Patriarchal Rule and the Struggle for Change. Kathy carries the flag for women's rights. This story is about the women's struggle. I'm going to bring this up close now. This is the story of women getting the rights to vote. The whole thing really motivates Kathy. She gets very emotional about these issues. It's like because she was really abused by the system. With her first husband. Okay, so anyway, this is our show starts tonight at 6:30. Excuse me. Kathy is doing an introduction. I'll have that on my channel as well. But I wanted to get, before this starts, some good pictures of her artwork. Every one of them has a story. She calls her work word paintings. Each person has a quote that really encapsulates what they're about, what they've done, where they fit into this whole scheme of artwork. This is all history. Women in history. There's Matilda. And you have to remember, I'll go back to this one, Kathy's got symbolisms. It's like, I've never had my artwork on the internet, but my artwork is called In Your Face. It doesn't have any significance. Kathy's artwork has all significance. All symbols in there. Everything has meaning. Everything has meaning. There's Elizabeth. We met one of her descendants about 10 years ago, and the woman looked just like Elizabeth. I'm not sure how many generations there were. I'd have to think about it. How about this one? Harriet Tubman, you know, she's got a story. She had, she was a slave, of course. One of her masters threw something at her and hit her in the face, and it was lucky that she lived. It disfigured her face. And so people thought that she was stupid and they would talk in front of her. That's how she got her start. The fact was she was highly intelligent. Really a good story to her. She even led a whole regiment of Union soldiers into the South to free a bunch of slaves. Anyway, you should read about Harriet Tubman if you haven't already. The great triumvirate, the three most important women in American women's history. Susan B. Anthony, of course. But she always said Elizabeth Cady Stanton, while she was the real brains behind the movement, Susan B. used to say she never knew how to feel about something until she spoke to Elizabeth Cady Stanton. And this is Susan B. This is how many states women got the right to vote. Alice Paul. She did it. Alice Paul. Google her. This is Susan B. again. And Harriet Tubman again. In fabric. I forgot to mention that about the fabric. There's a lot I didn't talk about. Let me finish up, and I'm going to go back to the beginning. There's a couple of things there I need to tell you about. You recognize Frida, don't you? Frida Kahlo. Alice Paul again, a second time. There's a big story behind this painting. Big story. It's got to do with how women were dealt with in the Middle Ages. If they wouldn't admit to something, even though they were not guilty, they'd have their knuckles pulled out. And then that's her son. We've got a whole story behind this burqa. It's the real story here is this woman, not only did she have to wear a burqa, she had to live her life in this thing. There was a rip in it, and the screen on the eyes, she had to look through a knot besides for everything else. Terrible. And this is the evolution of women. And Kathy's really serious about these things. Here's a quote. Yeah. Let me go back. I want to get to the beginning before I run out of time on this camera. As you can see, it's going to be another hour before this begins. But this, I wanted to point out that Marcia Coffin Wright, another woman significant in women's history, fabric, all done in quilt. And of course, Pope Joan. I didn't mention anything about Pope Joan. Did you know there was a woman pope? It was around the year 1000. You got to read about her. There's a movie too. Anyway, Jackster here. I don't want to run out of time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.